Hello, my name is Tino Bobe. I'm the Director of Manufacturing of a.lange and Söhne.
And I'm Anthony de Haas, Director of Product Development at a.lange and Söhne.
And we are very proud and happy that we can introduce a new member of the ODYSSEUS family today. But before doing so, let's have a look back.
Oh, sure, you can say that, because it started already in 2006, 2007. The first discussions how to deal with this challenge, because it was a challenge for us. How to make a sporty, elegant watch. So we had quite some discussions internally, but an interesting point also was feedback from some collectors. We had a collector say, hey, I have many watches of you, but the one watch for the 3 most precious weeks of the year, my holiday, is not there. Make us one. Yeah, we took that in the pocket and we continued our discussions, but it already started in 2006-07.
I very well remember these fruitful conversations we had. And I think, yes, then the task was clear, and with the broad experience of your team and yourself, it was a simple task, wasn't it?
Clear was for us, I think, the collectors and we were looking for 100% Lange & Söhne design, of course, but also a new face. So not the easy road to put a standard movement in a steel case, but really get a new track. And before we were there, you saw the result in 2019 when we launched the ODYSSEUS in steel.
And it's not the only member of the ODYSSEUS family today. Half a year later, on the Digital Watches and Wonders 2020, we launched the white gold version of ODYSSEUS. And last year, for the very first time, a titanium version of ODYSSEUS.
And you know, what is so funny about our job is that the interaction also with the clients, you get inspiration by the feedback, and it gives us idea, food for the next step. So what's up next now?
Let's have a look on a short movie.
And here it is, the ODYSSEUS chronograph. First chronograph with automatic movement of Lange & Söhne. We worked 6 years on the development of this movement, and we have some very special features in this movement. So Tino, you probably know a lot about the facts of this watch.
Yes, let's start with the dimensions. The diameter of the watch case is 42.5 millimeters. Thickness of the watch 14.2 millimeters. The watch has a beautiful black dial and the typical indications of ODYSSEUS. What means at 3 o'clock position you find the outside date, and at the 9 o'clock position it's the weekday indication. Both chronograph hands, the red seconds hand and the minute counter hand, are positioned in the center of the watch. This means with the ODYSSEUS chronograph you can measure until 60 minutes.
And this is not the only thing which makes the ODYSSEUS chronograph not a common one. You may have noticed in the movie that the zero resetting went quite different. And we call this the dynamic zero reset.
And if you wonder why the ODYSSEUS chronograph has the same beautiful pair of push pieces only, then I can tell you that we didn't want to overload the case with push pieces. And so, if the crown is screwed and in its inner position, then the push pieces can be used for the chronograph functions. If the crown is unscrewed and in its middle position, it can be used to adjust the outside date and the weekday indication. And what's about setting the time? You bring the crown in its outer position, and by turning the crown, you can adjust the time.
And here you see our new automatic chronograph movement, calibre L156.1. And also, for the first time, not only automatic, but also with a vertical clutch. There are some features you may recognize from the Odysseus, the previous Odysseus. Like, for example, the balance wheel bridge at this time. And it has its wavy pattern, and underneath there's the balance wheel running at 4 Hz.
We are very proud about this new beautiful movement with its 516 components and the very prominent black rhodium rotor on top of it. Why? Because it's movement number 71 we developed since the comeback of a.lange und Söhne in 1990. And of course, it has the same superb finish level as you find in all our movements. What means every component is carefully finished by hand, even if it can't be seen underneath the dial or hidden by another component.
So Tino, we're ready, we're done with the presentation. We move this one in our boutiques where you can come over and enjoy the watch live.